Look at those pelicans. They took over from the cormorants. That was where the cormorants always sat. Now the pelicans are decided to take over. They're big guys too. They're pretty big pelicans. What are you guys up to this morning? You looking for some fish? You're looking for some fish? Oh, it's good to see. Those pelicans were very damaged by DDT back years ago, along with the eagles and some other creatures. But around the world, there's still some places where they use DDT, but it's very bad on birds. It causes their eggs to not be, the eggshells to be very brittle and weak, and so they can't have babies. And it gets into the water supply, and the fish consume the DDT, and then the birds eat the fish, and so the birds get sick. They get it's toxic to the birds, and that's called the trophic, or the layers, or the trophic system. That's how or the food chain, and there's always things at the bottom of the food chain, and then the things eat the smaller things, and the bigger things eat those things, and even bigger things eat those. Usually it's bigger. I guess it doesn't necessarily always have to be about size, but typically it's smaller little organisms get eaten by bigger organisms, and so forth. And then all of those compounds and things that are good and bad start to become more concentrated in the larger animals. Now, of course, at any point during that process, maybe there's an organism that can bind up or excrete those toxins, and therefore it doesn't keep getting passed along. But generally, toxins that make their way up to, say, large animals like birds or humans, it's because if it's in the food chain, it's just usually starts off pretty low down the food chain and then builds its way up. So mercury can be that way, and a lot of other things. But also that's the way a lot of nutrients also gets passed up the food chain. Good stuff. So omega-3s, DHA, and particularly and EPA, the small organisms, the little algae and whatnot, algae gets consumed. They produce those oils, and then something comes along and eats the algae, and then algae, and they get the oils, and then something bigger comes along and eats those things, and then at some point along the way, I think the fish convert also DHA to EPA, and so that's eicosapentaenoic acid and docosapentaenoic acid, and those things, or hexanoic acid, I'm sorry. But those things are, those oils, those essential omega-3 fatty acids, are extremely important to larger animals in terms of our nervous system. It helps build the myelin sheaths, and also in the brain, a large percentage of the structure of the brain is made of those acids. And if we don't get them, our body will try to replace those fatty acids with other fatty acids, and things don't work right when that happens. So it's very important. So lots of things are like that. Lots of vitamins and nutrients and minerals, they get passed up the food chain, as well as so does toxins and whatnot. And that's another reason why it's important to not pollute. I love you.